Osio, Tuhijin Nagata, hello, how are you all doing? My name is Brian Hudson, and your instructor asked me to record this short little video to just talk a little bit about the inspiration behind my story Virtually Cherokee, which I take that you've either read or listened to the podcast version of. Now, this is a continuation of another story called Digital Medicine, and that was published in this anthology, Lightspeed, People of Color Destroy Science Fiction, special edition of Lightspeed. And in 2016, this won the British Fantasy Award for Best Anthology. And so it got out there, that story, Digital Medicine, got a lot of people looking at it and reading it. And one particular critic decided that it wasn't any kind of form of science fiction or speculative fiction. Now, I disagree, but that's what one thing that made me think about writing a story to continue the digital medicine, but making it clearly futuristic and clearly science fiction. Going as far as I could imagine when it comes to artificial intelligence, and really, the question of the story, which is, can you raise an artificially intelligent being as Cherokee? There are other inspirations for for Virtually Cherokee, and one of them is sci-fi writer Daniel Wilson's Amped. I think this is clearly another example of Cherokee cyberpunk, right? Which is a very specific subgenre that I write in. I would also say Blake Hausman's Riding the Trail of Tears is another good one. So these Cherokee writers writing Cherokee cyberpunk clearly influenced me. And the critics saying that what I wrote before wasn't quite sci-fi influenced me. But I would also say that probably the main influence for this story is the Cherokee language, right? I try to use as much Cherokee language as I can in this story because I do feel that it's important to tell Cherokee stories, to be able to bring the language in, right? And I'm lucky that my publishers have worked hard with me to really get that right and make it look right, whether it be printed on the page or online. This is the Cherokee Dictionary that came out in 1978, created by Durbin Feeling, who has passed on now, but the Cherokee Nation has created a large language center that bears his name. So besides a few Cherokee writers that I would characterize as Cherokee cyberpunk and the Cherokee language itself, I want to say that this book was also a huge inspiration. Walking the Clouds, an anthology of Indigenous science fiction edited by Grace Dillon. This, in 2012, was the first anthology of Indigenous science fiction, or Indigenous Futurisms, as Grace Dillon calls it. And so just having this book come out really made me start thinking about the possibilities of writing science fiction as an Indigenous person, right? And that made me realize there might be an interest in Indigenous folks writing science fiction. The big importance, I would say, of Indigenous science fiction is that there's a trope of natives, of us belonging to the past, right? It's called the vanishing red man trope. And you see this throughout American literature, movies, right? Whenever someone thinks about Native folks in a popular context, they often think about us in the past. So having Native folks in the present write about Native folks in the future, I think, is a great way to just explode that stereotype. But those are just a few of the inspirations that I had for writing Virtually Cherokee, and I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm going to say goodbye to you in Cherokee because it doesn't mean really goodbye. It means until we meet again. But because I'm a sci-fi nerd, I like to translate it as see you in the future. So, Dodada Gohan in Nagata, I'll see you all in the future.